Alright guys, seeping here, and today we're going to do the final episode of Rostermania Rumors for at least this Call of Duty Rostermania season, I guess you could put it like that. Black Ops 4 comes out tonight, today's October the 11th, and hopefully everything should fall into place over the coming days. I'm not really sure if there's an official roster lock that these guys have to adhere to, because as far as I'm aware, there's not really the same 2K system that we've had before, where people have to pretty much get their rosters in check very soon, but, you know, there's going to be a lot of content coming out in the season. I think a lot of pros are realizing that they're going to have to stream if they want to keep the content high, considering the lack of events, I guess you could say, this year. So there's probably going to be a lot of scrims streamed, and therefore we're going to have a lot of information as to who's on which team and how things are going. So hopefully things will come up very soon. But honestly, considering most of the rosters have been announced, the ones that remain are very up in the air. So I want to talk about that today. There's still a lot of teams that they're not confirmed, and in addition, they might not have an organization to be under. So like, if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, and let's get into it. So there was an announcement last night, Gunless going to Luminosity. This has been rumored for quite a while, and it made sense with Looney leaving Rise to go to Splice, of course, that obviously Gunless was going to follow suit to some direction or other. Pretty interesting how all four Rise guys have ended up in a different direction, considering they were maybe the roster of the year, you could say, this season. So, Gunless goes to Luminosity. Now, there's been no official confirmation that other players might be staying or leaving, but I'm pretty certain that John is going to stay. The whole rich guy thing, which we talked about a lot on Rostermania Rumors, that seems to have died down. I don't think he could get the pieces he wanted to build the super team that he was looking for, so maybe he'll come back in for franchising next season. That's what it's looking like, at least. So, John should be staying on Luminosity. I know he's put on Instagram pictures of him in a Luminosity jersey, and Formal had a huge buyout, and I'm sure he's going to stay. And the whole idea was Formal wanted to play with Gunless, right? So that's why this team's here. Formal, John, Gunless on one team. Crazy stacked lineup. So I'll talk about that when it gets officially announced. Now, the last two are very interesting. I heard for a couple of weeks that Slacked and Classic were going to be a team of two, but I wasn't sure at the time whether it would be on Luminosity, but it seems to be that's how it is as it looks right now. So this is what the CoD burner reckons the rosters are. FaZe Clan, of course, we've already talked about that. Slacked and Classic joining John, Gunless and Formal, which crucially means that JKap is off the team. He's been on the Luminosity team the entire World War II season. Slacked, of course, will stay alongside John, and Classic is going to join them again. An interesting situation, considering Classic really didn't have the best World War II season, but he's played with these guys before, and obviously they think very highly of him, and he did have a fantastic Infinite Warfare season, and he's been great before that as well. So a lot of people are putting this rumoured team as maybe top of the power rankings. I'm not really sure what to think of it yet, and I'll come up with a decision if and when it's announced. My heart kind of says that with JKap off the team, it might not have its complete peak, but we'll have to see how it goes. Talking of JKap, supposedly he's going to reunited. JKap and Clayster reuniting them from the team that won Advanced Warfare Champs under Denial. No attach and replays in sight this time though. Instead we have Arcetes, Pristini and Abizi. Abizi was talked about by Deserto several days ago. I think that's very much highly confirmed. When Deserto reports upon something, it's usually very accurate. So Abizi, formerly of Enigma 6, of course. He seems like very hot property right now. He goes onto this reunited squad, it looks like. And Arcetes and Pristini were rumoured to actually be leaving this team several weeks ago, and maybe even splitting up as a duo. But now it seems they've stayed on reunited. Whether they decided this was a decision they made consciously, or whether reunited tried to do everything to hang on to these guys. But very interesting teams to have a think about and to discuss. Clay and Arcetes, of course, will be the main assault rifles, and JKap can use an SMG, but he's kind of been better with an AR throughout the last few years, I would suggest. So maybe this team's a little bit AR heavy, but Cap can probably do it all. And if there's anyone you want on a team to help bring up some young talent like an Abizi, Clayster and JKap as a duo of veterans, it doesn't really get much better than that, right? Now, this means that Felony is off the team as it seems right now. A lot of you guys who may have been Clayster fans watching his CSGO streams with Felony might be very surprised, considering they, were playing CS together apparently. So that leaves up the question where Felony is actually going here. So these are another couple of rumoured rosters. This may be where Felony ends up. And this is really intriguing because we actually don't know, if these rosters are even true, where they will end up in terms of an organisation. these players on this team one, for example, they've all been released from their respective organizations, it seems. So Decimate and Blast, I've talked about these guys being a team of two for a long time, and Chino, of course, joining Decimate from the old Envy lineup, it seems. And then Felony and Facento, these guys have played before on Elevate, right, from Black Ops 3, so these guys know each other. This does make a lot of sense as a team, but we certainly don't know where they will end up in terms of organizations. Mad Cat also confirmed his team a couple of days ago. We did get the confirmation that PT will be joining him, Josh, Alex, and Dave. So, as they say, they're still looking for an organisation. How many orgs are left in the fray? Evil Geniuses, they're still looking for a team. Who knows who they'll pick up? Lightning Pandas, of course, they had that team of Theory. We still don't really know where Theory's going to go. The old Ghost Gaming crew as well with Parasite. Codburner reckons that Parasite doesn't really have any great offers, but then Spacely did this tweet saying that all those players that you have named, including Parasite, do have some sort of team. So it's very intriguing in that sense. Also, this tweet from Codburner Intel, GodRx Panda did follow this guy Rahul, who is the esports manager for Lightning Pandas, it seems. So LP might be a team to consider. Rise Nation also haven't announced anything. All their 4 players have gone, but who do they pick up in response to this? Maybe they leave Call of Duty entirely, but considering the success they had last season, it seems somewhat questionable for them to jump ship, right? Now, Echo Fox made a statement the other day saying they're pulling out of Call of Duty and Gears of War, I think, but when I went to look for the tweet today, it seems it's been deleted, so I'm guessing it still stands, but maybe something else come up. And Kostov, TK owner, of course, he tweeted this the other day. Right now we're in the late stages of negotiations with an investor group. Our main concern is obtaining the means to acquire a franchise spot for CoD so that fielding a team in Black Ops 4 made sense. Huge moves are happening, and he had a lot of tweets that followed this up. So if TK can somehow get some money out of nowhere, they could actually pick up a solid squad, because they had a really good team last season, of course, came out of nowhere, and a lot of people are thinking that all they're going to be able to acquire is amateurs. But if this is true and they've got some sort of big investor behind them now, it's tweeted almost a week ago at this point, maybe they can get one of these rosters that are rumoured right here. So moving on to Team 2, Saints, Lacefield, Royalty, Gunja and Spacely. Now this is quite interesting because Spacely tweeted out briefly after this something about like the crazy scenes in Rostermania, I'm now a free agent again or something along those lines. But then he did a tweet maybe a day later or something that now he's got something sorted. So who knows whether this is actually the team that he's got sorted or whether this was the team before maybe he was dropped for someone else. I do find it interesting how Gunja and Royalty get on the team without Zotic. So where would Zotic end up here? Saints and Lacefield have rumoured to be a team of 2 for some time. Royalty and Gunja, maybe they thought, okay, we'll drop space, we'll get Zotic in, because of course Zotic, Royalty, Gunja on the Lightning Pandas team of old. Maybe they'll even go back to that organisation, but with this rumour that GodRx and Panda are going to go there, who knows what happens. So the Lightning Pandas situation is very much up in the air. If this is the team, or maybe Spacely goes and Zotic comes in, one key thing with Theory as well is he has a hell of a lot of pro points due to the events he won at the start of the season. He can get you pretty high up in the standings on his own in terms of getting pro points to try and get into pools, or at least get in the qualifier to get into pool play at Call of Duty World League Vegas. Now, there was another team I want to talk about, which was supposedly on Enigma 6, which seems to now have fallen apart, or at least maybe the rumour wasn't correct to start with. But this kind of follows up with this tweet with Adam, or with GodRx and Panda potentially going to Lightning Pandas. The team on Enigma 6 was rumoured to be General, of course. He has, his parents basically own the organisation. Kismet, who really had his come up towards the end of World War II, had a great showing on, was it Conquest or something like that? And he also did really well at the last chance qualifier for Champs. Now, the rest of the team was rumoured to be Diabolic, GodRx, and Frosty. But supposedly, Diabolic, Sender, and Abizi, they've all unfollowed Enigma 6. Which, I don't know how much you want to read into that. GodRx and Panda have followed Lightning Pandas. So it doesn't seem like this team will be coming together. But the interesting thing is, as the 5th is meant to be Frosty, the Halo player, which I believe I talked about last time, potentially coming into the Call of Duty fray. What sort of level team would end up picking him up? Maybe Enigma 6 is a target. But if Diabolic and GodRx have gone, maybe even to a Lightning Pandas or something like that, then who else can Enigma 6 get into the fray?
There's actually still an awful lot of questions right now, but I think I'll leave it there for Rostermania Rumors for this transfer period, I guess you could say. It's been a crazy one. 5v5 has really switched things up. We have so many super teams at the top, and at some point I'll do a power ranking situation. So Black Ops 4 comes out tonight. I hope you guys all enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be hopping on when the clock ticks midnight. So like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.